My life before Christ was hard. I felt like I was living in a constant state of hell. Dad had committed suicide before I was born, and my mom was about 3 months pregnant for me. He had come home from Vietnam War, and because of that, his mental state wasn't healthy, so he committed suicide. And from that is where my mom kind of lost her mental health and didn't know how to deal with the loss of my dad, and being a young mother to my brother and then pregnant with me. She ended up in an unhealthy relationship after that, and through that, CPS got involved and was going to take us away, remove us from the household. So that's when my grandparents stepped in and had taken guardianship over us. I just couldn't understand why she couldn't fight for us to come back home with her. And, then I grew up into my teenage years, and I would just often cry myself to sleep, just wondering why I was living the type of life I was living. No father, verbal abuse, physical abuse, drugs, alcoholism. And I just prayed. I just wanted my dad there, because I thought if my dad was in my life wouldn't be the way it was. And so I would often cry myself to sleep, wishing that he was there. And in my teenage years, contemplated suicide. And tried to take my life, and it just God had another plan, I guess you could say, and life went on. And at one point in time, my grandparents thought that maybe it was time for me to go back home to my mom. And we went back home, and during that short period of time, my stepfather had sexually abused me. And when I had told my mom about it, I thought, yes, I was going to be set free from this. And instead, she chose to stay and sent me back home to my grandparents. So feelings of just being unworthy of love and anything good. I just wanted to escape. I just wanted to escape. Gosh. It was just amazing. You're just so in love, trying to do life together. He was such a wonderful support system for me, and I saw him at that time, I know now at that time, as an escape from my childhood from the life that I lived way back then. So Craig was my knight in shining armor who was taking me out of that. And I just loved him for that, you know, until life kind of takes over. And because of that feeling of unworthiness and not worthy of love, and feeling like I had to constantly prove myself, that I became obsessed with work and proving myself to corporate or anybody for that matter, that I was worthy of what I was doing. I became focus driven, and my family, Craig, became second in this journey that I was taking. And I didn't pay attention to his feelings, you know. My feelings were the only ones that counted. And if he didn't like it, it was too bad. I was gonna do it anyway. And in the same breath, I wanted him to take care of me, but I wouldn't let him. You know, I was gonna do it all on my own, never realizing I had a partner that was willing to do it with me. And slowly over time, I just knocked him down. You know, with my words of discouragement and words of hatred, and you know, I was so angry inside that it came out on him, and I was lashing out on him, and we lost communication with one another, and we existed in our home life as friends more than husband and wife. And the only thing that actually kind of kept us together was the children. And through that breakdown in our marriage was lies and deceit and infidelity. And I slowly just fell into my own depression once again, and I was lost. I was so lost. So at this point, I'm emotionally checked out. I was still going through counseling and still feeling the same inside. And over a course of time, I had friends that kept inviting me to come to church. So I started coming to church on Sundays, every Sundays. That was my fill initially, and then I felt like through God and through my journey and through my prayer times and devotions and quiet times with Him, the Lord was telling me that I had broken down my husband so deeply that it was now my responsibility to lift him back up and encourage him to be the man that he is. And I just thank God for showing me that that's what I needed to do.
Since I started coming to New Hope Windward, our marriage has just blossomed. The communication is open. We loved each other before, but there's a love I feel now that is different. it's just different. It's a deeper love. Most definitely, Jesus saved our marriage.
Since I've met Jesus, He has pulled me out of the darkness. Definitely pulled me out of the darkness, and He has shown me the light, you know, and has just been so amazing in building me as character and calling me to do what His plan was for my life. And He's my light. He's my light. He's my strength. He believes in me when I don't believe in myself. Oh, He gives me strength when I'm weak.